Hey, what's going on, Nation? And welcome to Ask Scott and Sean episode 18. Now, if this is your first time viewing an Ask Scott and Sean episode, there's a link in the info section below if you have questions you want to ask, or go to the Ask Scott and Sean section on the ScottandFitness.com webpage. So, Sean, we have 3 questions for the Hermanites today that they asked of us. Are you ready to answer them?
Questions. Always questions. It's good that you guys are sending in these questions. We're trying to get to some more original questions. I know there's at least one person who's like, are these all the questions you guys get? Because sometimes we repeat ourselves. I go over the questions. Sometimes I like to pick the same question to see. I'm waving this water around, thinking a lot of noise. But anyways, I like to pick different questions to see if, or the same questions to see if we answer it differently and to see if we can get out more information, because we're always trying to learn as well.
Plus, there's always a lot of new Hermanites that come here, so it's really great to kind of go over some of the older questions that we have, because it'll engage them as well. If it's a basic question, it's answered for them, then they learn something new with the other ones. That's why we usually do 3.
Yeah, we're going to try to come up with some more challenging questions, or at least pick the more challenging questions. And they're getting more challenging as time goes on. We want you guys to learn. We want you guys to learn as much as you can and become inquisitive. Word of the day.
So question 1 is from Landon Petermann, and he's from Norton. And he says, hey Scott and Sean, I've been doing the workouts in SHF and have seen awesome improvements with strength, but I also want to lose body fat and gain muscle mass. I have been doing the drop set system. It seems to be working, but only for muscle strength. I'm in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so muscle gain and strength is a great thing to have. I'm 17 years old, 6'1", with 30% body fat, 20% of its back fat, and 10% of its arm fat. I'd like to have way less body fat, just like everyone else does, but the question is, how can I lose body fat all the way around and gain muscle mass at the same time with only a bench press, a workout ball, lat pull down, incline press, and curl bar? Also, you two are beasts, and in advance, thanks Scott and Sean.
Thank you.
So, the first thing I think we should address is the 30% body fat. What do you think, Sean?
No, there's a lot of things to address in this question.
Let's start addressing them. Why don't you go first? Let you take the reins.
The thing, obviously, I picked this question, and there wasn't enough detail in the question in the first place, but there are some key points we can make in here. One of the more important things being, I don't know how long he does Jiu-Jitsu every session that he does it, how many days a week. That's definitely relative to you burning fat.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'm not too sure about his nutrition as well. And that's going to make a big difference in what your body fat or fat to muscle ratio is going to be in your composition overall.
We also don't know the system that he used to measure his body fat to begin with, and you can't really say where that body fat is. I mean, if you have 30% body fat, you can't say 20% in your back and 10%
He came up with his own method of measuring body fat. He's like, I'm about 40% body fat or 30% body fat. He's like, I think 20's here-ish and 10's here.
So we're not poking fun. What we're basically saying is we want you first, what's the guy, Landon? Landon, we first want you to accurately get a measure on your body fat percentage and see what's going on specifically. And then the next step from there would be to see what you're eating, what you're ingesting, how many calories you're taking in a day. Because like Sean said, if we don't know how many calories you're expending, because we don't know how intense your workouts are, it's going to be hard for us to determine what you should be doing with your meal plan. But I mean, these are basic things that you should be keeping in mind. And as far as workouts, we know what you have as far as equipment, but he's forgetting the most important thing that he has already.
His body.
His body.
His human body.
Your body.
Beautiful thing.
Is a beautiful thing and is a workout tool. There are so many exercise routines that you can do without utilizing any of this equipment.
He does it in Jiu-Jitsu. He does a lot of body weight stuff. I know I do Jiu-Jitsu sometimes, and it's all body weight. There's a ton of different exercises. Jiu-Jitsu is cool for that because we can do all kinds of original exercises that a lot of other people don't do.
So my suggestion for you, Landon, is you need to get your meal plan on track. You need to get an accurate body fat measurement. Okay, if you need help with the meal plan system and with your workouts, you can go over to ScottandFitness.com. I'm going to give you a promo code that you can use for half off your first month for a platinum membership. It's going to give you access to the meal plan system, which is going to be custom for your body. It's also going to give you access to every single exercise and every single routine that's ever been produced on the YouTube channel. And the routines now come with downloadable PDFs and screenshots of all the exercises so you can kind of see what's going on before you even watch the video. And what's going to be good about this is he can even kind of pick and choose different exercises from different routines and start to make his own workouts. If you're doing a total body routine, you want to be doing as many compound exercises as possible. You really want to wear yourself down, kill yourself. Like when you do a lot of burpees and mountain climbers and stuff like that, you guys have seen lately in some videos. Remember we did My Body Is Ready? Mm-hmm. That workout was great. Total body routine, just using your body weight. Anything you want to add? I mean, I think this is all...
My overall answer would be figure out what you're trying to do. If you're trying to gain muscle, focus on gaining weight. If you're trying to burn fat, your primary goal, trying to burn fat more, focus on losing some weight. So you can do both at once. It's going to take a little bit longer. You need to know how many calories you're burning, your resting metabolic rate. With that being said, I would say on average for baseline, try to have a gram of protein per pound of body weight to make it really simple. Then start with the same amount of carbohydrates and go up or down from there according to what your primary goal is. So once you choose your goal and you know what your goal is, also take into account your actual exercise, how much exercise you're doing, and try to accommodate with carbohydrates for all that as well. And if you're trying to lose, you can kind of cut those down a little bit and you can focus on a little bit more fat.
And that's really great advice.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And then one thing we should touch on real quick, take 2 seconds, is he talked about gaining strength and he's doing the drop sets. You guys gotta understand is, when you're doing drop sets, you're building muscle endurance, but when you get down to those lower rep ranges, that's when you're starting to build more contractile proteins in your muscles. So your muscle contractions get harder. You're not necessarily gonna build mass with low reps, that's higher reps, like 8 to 12. So if you're doing the drop sets, getting into lower reps and pushing yourself hard, that's where the strength gains are coming from.
He needs to do both. Because if he's interested in doing martial arts, there's a lot of muscular endurance stuff involved. And if you want to get strong at the same time, you need to have a good mix of both. So you're just going to have to do some studying, and you can check out the website and check out some of the exercises on there and start to develop a routine from there. You can always hire a coach.
All right, question 2.
I don't think I'm loud enough right now.
I think you're doing all right.
A little low.
I think I'm actually not yelling as loud as I normally do too, so it's pretty good.
Freaking me out, buddy.
I'm gonna cough. Frankie Schel. Hey guys, I've seen some of your videos on supplements before, but I was just wondering what your opinions are on HGH, which is human growth hormone. Supplements. I've seen some people refer to them as a steroid, but a lot of research I've seen on them say they're all natural. Well, the reason why it says it's all natural is because your body naturally secretes HGH out of the pituitary gland in your brain, which, if I was to point to it, would be here, somewhere in the middle.
Right there? Here?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe if I push hard enough.
If you you push that
way.
We're
bigger.
We're secreting HGH right now. We're putting pressure on that pituitary gland. So the first thing you want to know is, have you guys taken them? I've never taken HGH injections. How about you?
No. I want bigger hands though.
Big hands. We'll get to that in a second. Do you guys recommend? We're going to answer all these questions when he says, do you guys recommend them? What do you know about them? Are they worth taking? Are they safe to take? Is there one that you'd recommend, etc.? I think one of the biggest, the first thing you should do is always, whenever any supplement, outweigh the risks versus the benefits.
You can barely call HGH a supplement too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a legitimate hormone, and that's more than a supplement. I mean, growth hormone, steroids is not a supplement. It's just you're taking it to the next level. Oh, I don't even know it's over supplement, but it's that.
Well, let's talk about maybe some of the reasons why people might want to take HGH. First and foremost, as your body,
there's mixed research.
There's a lot of stuff to cover. We're actually going to do another video on HGH exactly. If you guys want to check that out, it'll be up on the YouTube channel very soon. I'll even maybe post a link to it over Sean's head, because once it's up, it'll be right there. But when you start to hit around age 30, your body naturally stops producing as much HGH.
Early 30s.
Early 30s. And maybe there might be some natural reasons why you might go see a doctor to get some, synthetic injections. Some children are born with deficiencies in HGH. So in order for them to grow properly, they have to go see a doctor and get, HGH injections to be able to grow as they normally would.
A kid I went to high school with, he actually, he was on the smaller side of things. And he actually eventually ended up going, I think, towards senior year or just after high school, and he got injections, and I believe he did grow a few inches. So in that case, he needed it. So if there becomes a point when you can't nutritionally, you can't nutritionally grow anymore, doing supplementing on HGH definitely is something that you may want to consider. Obviously, go to the doctor and talk about it with him a little bit.
Yeah, if you're worried about your HGH level, which would be kind of hard to determine that because there's so many factors that are involved with you not growing, especially just around nutrition itself, go see a doctor. But understand this too, there's a direct correlation to your body's natural ability to release HGH and how much sleep you're getting. So if your nutrition's not in order and you're lacking seriously on sleep, yeah, your HGH levels are going to be low even if you're younger. So maybe first get those two things in line. Now,
it's not going to be so dramatic that you're going to be tiny or you're going to be huge if you sleep for 10 hours a night. But definitely, you want to 1% over a long period of time is a lot.
You want to max out your natural ability, obviously, to grow, to be as big and as healthy and strong as you can be. Now, you've probably seen people in the gym, who are on HGH and they have some traits. Do you want to go over some of those traits, Sean?
What's that?
Some HGH traits that you might see in the gym?
Some you can get growth gut.
HGHT.
You might get big head.
HGH gut. You've probably seen the people walk around the gym. I've actually seen a lot of girls in my gym who have taken HGH and they're walking around and they're shredded, but their belly's like this. I mean, it makes everything in you grow.
A lot of pro bodybuilders.
Yeah, a lot of pro bodybuilders have taken it. You see the big roid gut that they have.
Go Google HGH gut, and then you'll see a bunch of side shots of some pretty funny bellies.
Actually, yeah, go to the images section. I mean, some people naturally are going to secrete more. We talked about Andre the Giant. Kind of how he looks with his big head and his big hands. If you take HGH, you'll notice increases like around your eyebrows, your forehead, your chin.
You look like a big caveman / gorilla.
Yeah, it would make your feet look bigger, make your hands look bigger. It's directly related to carpal tunnel syndrome. You start to hold more fluid within your joints. And yeah, it's just not really something you probably want to mess with unless it's doctor recommended.
I really would almost definitively say that I'd mess with HGH is right now, right here. No, just kidding. But when I get older, like if I was like 60 or older and I was pretty healthy and I wanted to continue to be healthy and I've done enough research where I'm confident in it, at that point then I'd be like, yeah, let's do some HGH. Let's stay thin, let's stay lean, young, whatever I can, nice and strong.
There's still a lot of research going on to
prove. There's always going to be a lot of research on it.
And I guess maybe to end it on that note, I was reading something yesterday how people who are diabetic, it helps balance their blood sugar levels. So would we recommend you taking HGH? I'd say no. I did look up some natural herbs that are supposed to...
If you want to be in my personal army, and then you're actually required to take HGH as a prerequisite.
We're moving forward.
I know, we moved way forward. We're getting really close.
Sean's natural army of Andre.
All I need is 100 people to be in this army, HGH, go nuts, and you definitely need to be in good shape in the first place. So good genetics, HGH, and then you're in my army. But we'll talk about
some natural boosters that I found. I mean, you can Google search this stuff. Ginseng, Vitex angus cactus, and Herba epimedi. These are natural herbs that help you naturally produce. I just looked it up. I thought I'd have it for you guys.
No, you guys, all these supplements that say they're gonna naturally boost HGH.
They should be telling you to sleep first and fix your nutrition, right? Let's move on.
I just haven't seen anything that's legitimate. Unless you're actually going to take HGH, which costs probably sometimes $1,000 a day, depending on what you do. I know people who have done paid like $5,000 for, I don't know, stuff like that. Just work out.
He was saying he wants some fudge.
Yeah, I want some.
Okay.
It's a frolic.
All right, the last question. The last question is from Lucas from England. So what's up, Lucas from England?
Luke!
Hey, Scott and Sean. Hey, Sean and Scott. Sean deserves to be first sometimes, haha. Anyway, quick question. Generally, my posture is pretty good. However, my shoulders slouch forward just a bit. Any way to combat this? I presume it's maybe because I work my chest harder than my back and shoulders. Any tips to bring them back a bit, make everything a bit tighter around my shoulder region, Would it be a case of just thinking about it and sort of forcing them back to correct it? I've been working out over a year, but 6 months seriously. My meal plan is pretty good, and I'm not taking any supplements at this time. If it matters, I'm 19, I'm 6 feet, my weight fluctuates between 185 pounds and 191 pounds. Not sure about my body fat percentage, but I think I'm pretty lean. And then also, another quick question I have, a bit of fat on my stomach, just hiding my abs, and currently doing a circuit, which involves my back to lose it. Is this effective? It consists of 8 to 10 reps upright row, 8 to 10 reps bent over row, 8 to 10 reps deadlift, 8 to 10 reps standing barbell shoulder press, and then 8 to 10 reps of good mornings. Obviously all those exercises, one after another on the circuit, then a 45 seconds minute break, and I do the circuit for 5 circuits. Well, we're going to get to the first part first, but after just saying all that, you can't spot reduce fat. And we'll get back to that after we go over.
I've seen, I did see one thing, I can't recall what it was. I did see one thing that said you can, but to the degree that it matters, is really not worth trying to spot reduce.
I mean, he's going to see more benefits by doing stomach vacuums if he's worried about pulling in his waist super tight and getting that area tighter. But let's focus on the shoulders first and the slouching. So we actually are going to show you some exercises that you can do at home on the floor. I'm going to demonstrate. Sean is going to elaborate on what's going on.
Elaboration.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the shoulders rounding forward and you slouching, it is a good thing to pay attention to now that you're 19 years old.
Oh yeah.
If you continue that pattern,
you don't want to grow into this.
Yeah, I mean, 30 years down the road, you could end up with kyphosis. That's not a pretty.
Kyphosis isn't cool. We saw that. We did that. We actually answered that question two episodes ago.
Usually, you don't see it in people till they're about 80 years old or so, like 70, 80 years old, and they start to get hunchback and everything. But definitely something you want to pay attention to from a young age, and you will be nice and tall. You have good retraction, you have good control over your spine, and keeping neutral spine. So with that being said, we're going to go over a Y raise right now. And
you know what? I think my posture's always been pretty good because I used to walk around thinking I was so big in high school, with my chest up.
At like 150.
And flexing, but you know, hey, it made my posture good. You can always try that. Okay, so let's go over this. Enough of my...
Lay down your chest.
All right, so we're going to come down here.
Smash your face into that mat right there.
Can you get a good angle from there? So, now, you guys want to make sure that you do put something on your face, even if you're doing it on a rug. Because even on a rug, as you move it around, I did it once and I got like a burn on my nose. That wasn't cool.
So we'll go with Y raise. If you guys want, you can check out my page, the Boom Athletics page as well. I have the prone cobra up on there.
Why don't you point to where it's going to be?
We'll link it right here, and you can check that out as well. That's definitely something that you can use to help your posture. So Scott's going to demonstrate a Y raise for us right now. So some of the things you might want to think about first is squeezing the glutes, pointing the toes back here, and we can also do this on a ball as well. So he's going to point his thumbs up towards the ceiling. Can you see the thumbs there? Yep. Okay, you can see the thumbs. What he's going to do from here is just make a Y with his arms, come out a little bit more, and we're going to get a small retraction here as he raises his arms a few inches off the ground. Scott has a pretty good range of motion through here, and go ahead back down. So he's just going to raise up for about 2 seconds and come right back down. Good. Just try to straighten out your arms as much as possible. Good. And so he's getting his retraction shoulder blades. He's actually going to try to depress the shoulder blades down here as well. So you're going to try to pull those shoulder blades down if you can. There you go. And you're going to get even more engagement across this area right here. He's keeping his forehead against the ground. The head may naturally want to lift up here. Try to fight that because you're going to actually get a little bit more, or a lot more isolation. And you feel the traps there, Scott?
Oh yeah.
Definitely feeling the traps, especially that lower trap area here.
I'd say the trickiest part is going like this and pushing your shoulders down and back.
Yeah, definitely something you want to pay attention to here because it is so easy. So good, relax, and we'll show them how easy it is otherwise. Because if you just do it loosey-goosey, if you just like kind of like this, your arms are bent, and you just kind of raise them up. Go ahead, try it just like that, just literally loosey-goosey. It's easy to do that. Anyone can do that. But really, the key with stuff like this is to focus on what you're doing and think about, literally pulling so you're taller. By the time you stand up from here, you'll feel this. If you do, I'd recommend 2 sets of 10 to 12 reps, and you can also do that with the prone cobra. If you have kyphosis or you have any, you can stand up now.
You don't want to go Y?
Oh, you can go T raises too, Y raises. So you can go T raises, thumbs down. So you just put the thumb up against the ground just like that, and again, depress and retract the shoulder blades. So if your nose is smushing in there, just kind of deal with it. And yep, a lot of people, go ahead, put your arm down here. A lot of people have a tendency, they'll start here and they'll start to come back here. That's not the same. That you're actually going to focus more on the posterior deltoid. You will be using the posterior deltoid here, but as you come up just in a straight line and retracting in, you're going to feel that a lot more and be using those muscles that you want to engage to be able to stay nice and tall. Also, you can try, we're going to go thumb up here, thumb pointing towards the ceiling, and you want to make sure when you're doing this one that you don't start to slide in. So keeping that thumb up the whole time. Go ahead, try that for a few reps, Scott. And you really feel this one a lot more. This is my favorite one right here. When I do this with my clients, they really are making some pain faces and they go nuts.
It feels good. One thing you can do, you can actually, believe it or not, see throughout your peripherals on how your arms are. But it's also great to have somebody your first couple of times doing this to make sure that you're actually creating a cross and your arms are straight. Because I mean, we do this as a warm-up all the time, and I'll be on my face doing it, and Sean will walk over and be like, your arms are too low. You know, it happens, even if you're awesome, like me.
So same thing on that T-raise with the thumb down. Make sure you're not coming back, you're just coming straight up.
Ready? All right, so definitely give that a shot. And then this is our buddy Lucas. Okay, yeah. So
Lucas!
So
thanks
Lucas,
for the question. We appreciate I just spit everywhere. Thanks for your question, buddy.
And as far as fat on your stomach, Lucas, why don't you revert back to question 1 where we talk about meal plan, nutrition, total body training. That's where you want to be. Same exact answer.
Nutrition, there's a general base for it, but it is going to vary from person to person. Everyone reacts a little bit different to diets. So that's something you always want to keep in mind when dieting. Keep your baseline, know your proteins, know your carbs, know your macros, micros, all that stuff. But we've spent enough time, I think, answering all these questions, so we'll let you guys get back to your day.
So hey, good job.
Good job.
Good job, buddy.
I'm glad we unite once again.
All right, guys. Once again, if you have a question you want us to answer, there's a link in the info section below, or go to the Ask Scott and Sean section on ScottHermanFitness.com. And as always, more good stuff coming soon, guys. We'll see you later.